Hey, what's going on? I haven't seen you guys in a while. What's it been, like a year?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Okay, awful dad jokes aside. Today we're doing a viewer request for once. Andre the Dragon, a sub of mine, gave me a super thanks asking if I could cover this guy called Guitarherostyles. He also goes under the name Advyout. This is a guy I had never heard of before, and trying to figure out what's going on with this dude was a little harder to research than usual because you see, Advyout is Spanish, and I don't mean that he just speaks Spanish, I mean he's from Spain. So, it's been a while since we've had an international video, but this time we're going to Spain to look at this dude. Now, this presents a problem because I barely remember any Spanish when I was in school, so we got a bit of a language barrier issue here. So this video might not go as in-depth as some of my other ones because of that. And I kind of suspect that's why this guy hasn't been covered by many of the English-speaking channels that cover weirdos on the internet like this. Alright, let's get into it. So, Advyout got his start all the way back in 2011. He began his internet career by uploading Guitar Hero vids, which explains the name of his channel. He did this for roughly 3 years and then decided to switch to another game called Geometry Dash. Geometry Dash, from what I've gathered, is a rhythm-based action platformer where you have to get through the level and dodge obstacles and hazards to the beat of a song. I've never played it myself, so I'm only going off of store descriptions and seeing some gameplay. So, disclaimer, if there's any Geometry Dash footage in the background behind me right now, that gameplay is not mine. I will credit whoever's footage I'm using in the description. Just want to make that clear. But after completing a level for the song The Theory of Everything, he switched over to Geometry Dash level completion videos, and then transitioned into custom levels. Now this is where his channel really took off and started gaining attention, because he would clear notoriously difficult custom levels. But oddly enough, his most popular video wasn't even a custom level. It was him getting 100% on what is considered the hardest, official Geometry Dash level called Deadlocked. This single video, at the time of me making this one, has netted him over 45 million views, which is insane. In November of 2017, he reached 1 million subs, and from what I could find, he's the first Geometry Dash YouTuber to do that. And dude was mad dedicated to Geometry Dash. Dedicated might be putting it lightly, because in April of 2019, I've heard this dude nearly had a heart attack on stream. And his heart rate was getting close to 200 BPM.
See why? This isn't even the worst of it.
No! 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 What? No! Ugh. 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 Ugh.
Unfortunately, this isn't a tale of his success, at least not entirely. We gotta get into the dark stuff now. The stuff that you're actually here for. In October of 2021, some very unsavory things got revealed about this guy on Twitter by an ex-administrator going by the name of Pan. They made an extensive thread on Twitter levying some serious accusations. Unfortunately, which just makes my life a lot harder covering this thread was deleted, so I don't have all the tweets here to go through them one by one. Included in this thread was a Pastebin page that had allegations against Guitarherostyles, and they were alleging things like the following: emotional abuse, having sex with people despite said person explicitly saying no. And in the rest of the thread outside the Pastebin, it gets worse than that. The worst thing that was uncovered was that he was being sexual around people he knew were underage. The Pan thread starts with the following.
This video is in regards to Advystyles / Guitarherostyles, a popular Geometry Dash content creator. These tweets may be disturbing for some, view at your own discretion. A few people from the maintenance team, including Pause, Hado, and I, were informed about inappropriate actions from Advy towards women. After we were informed of the situation, we reached out to various victims about their relationship with Advy. These discussions were conducted privately, with careful consideration to the victim's well-being. A few did not wish to talk, but others did, provided their experiences with Advy, one of which has a public statement provided that will be posted on her behalf. This victim wishes to stay anonymous. It should be noted that they knew each other in real life. It is also important to note this victim was an adult during their relationship.
We'll get into the pastebin in a second, but this thread contains screenshots, including one made by an alleged underage victim who Advy approached while being aware that she was underage. Unfortunately, the crop of the YouTuber Optimus. No, not that Optimus. Not that one. As I was saying, the YouTuber Optimus, he took a screenshot of a crop of one of the Discord messages, and the crop doesn't show the full message, and like I said, because the thread is deleted, I don't have a better screenshot to verify this, but according to him, Advy was responding to a picture of the minor and said, "cool 14-year-old," or something like that, which is definitely weird. But don't worry, there's more screenshots here. One of them of Advy making inappropriate comments about the same girl, allegedly, like a day after acknowledging her age.
Advy makes inappropriate comments about her appearance the day after acknowledging her age. Advystyles. I do because, well, it's hard to explain, but the way of how you write the messages impacts on the person you are writing to. And in your case, it's like, it brings me happiness because you look super cute and all that stuff. Like, you know. So it makes me excited whenever you talk to me. I try to respond as fast as possible. Or that's how you make me feel.
Yeah, this is pretty freaking weird when you're talking to a minor dude, but there's more.
Advy comments about her voice later on. He then expresses disappointment at how little they are in voice calls with each other. Advystyles. Your voice says a lot, trust me. It's like, give this person a hug right now. Did I say A? I said 100. That's my impression. Redacted. Was that actually your impression? Lol. Advystyles. I liked your voice a lot. I still do, of course. Sadly, we don't call that much, but it's fine.
It seems like he's trying to pressure this girl into being in VC more. It goes without saying that this is really inappropriate. There are other victims that wish to remain anonymous. Like I said, I haven't found an archive of the thread, so there might have been more than what I could find from screenshots on other people's videos about this. I have no idea what happened to the original thread, as any links to it that I found are gone. They don't work. So the tweet's been deleted. I don't know why. But thankfully, one thing we can see is the victim's pastebin statement. The original statement seems to have been taken down as well, but thankfully, someone out there backed it up to the Wayback Machine, so we can take a look at it. I'm going to link the entire archive of it in the description, as there is quite a bit to it, and I'm only going to read some sections of it. I'm not going to read this whole thing.
When I first met Guitar, he got very close to me very quickly. In just a couple of days, he pretty much opened his heart to me, told me private stuff about his life, and made me feel close to him. He also made me feel like I was the only one by his side, that he was completely alone, and that I made him want to keep going. He was nice and sweet to me in the very beginning, but after a month he started showing his true colors. He started using me as an emotional punching bag, not in a I need you to vent way. He would also blame me for everything that was wrong in his life, treating me horribly while he was upset, and rejecting to tell me anything about what was going on, making me feel both guilty and clueless. He would punish me for something I didn't even know I was doing.
Brace yourselves, it gets worse. Much worse.
Every time we had an argument or a little fight, he would either stop talking to me and block me everywhere, or use me as an emotional punching bag, telling me how worthless I was compared to him, and that his time was too worth to spend it talking to me. Remember when I said you could never say something that wasn't exactly what he thinks or wants? It got worse, way worse, to the point that I couldn't even try to help him with private life stuff, because if I didn't 100% agree with him on everything he did, he would make me feel like the worst scum on earth. He would never do VC with me to talk about the arguments we had to solve our problems. Everything was by chat. I don't even know if he had any emotional reactions towards our fights, because I never got to hear his voice while we had them. The only thing I know is that while he was arguing with me, he was also trash talking me with his friends and being a sweetheart to others. After the fight, for some days he would be ultra sweet and nice again, but shortly after, he would start doing the same stuff again. Silent treatment, blaming me for his personal stuff, and not telling me what was going on, making me feel worthless compared to him because he's important and famous. He also called me once a gold digger and a fame seeker for telling him that he used to expose me and talk me more on social media before he got into the English GD community, and essentially before he met Juniper. Following that emotional abuse, the sexual abuse appeared. I realized he would never take a no as a response, trying to force me into having sex with him every night we spent together, trying to manipulate me into having it. He would only be nice and caring with me at night, just moments before he would force me to have sex. At a point, he would even say to me, "I know that you will let me fuck you if I keep kissing you." Sometimes he would even fully force me to have sex with him while I was crying because I was feeling bad emotionally, even with several explicit no given to him. I accepted them several times without my explicit consent, and with my explicit negative to it. After a year, the emotional abuse got worse. He would give me silent treatment constantly. He would still punish me for everything that was wrong in his life, and also threatening me if I dared to talk to him on stream because I would ruin his job.
Oh man, that is nuts. There's more. You see, when this girl tried to leave, he began messaging them, telling them that he was going to go to therapy and that he was going to game end himself. The girl in the situation, in my opinion, did the right thing and notified his family and friends about this stuff, as she was afraid that he was going to actually go through with it. Here's where it somehow gets even more messed up. You see, he got mad at her for telling his friends and family and said that he couldn't trust her anymore, then blocked her. Because no good deed goes unpunished, even if that good deed was to someone who allegedly R-worded you. But there's one last section that I want to highlight from this.
Because we had sex, most of our convos afterwards were sex related. His opinion towards me were pretty much sexual, and all the ways he had to compliment me were sexual. I think he only maintained his contact with me so you could have someone to have sex with, and that he really didn't have any more interest on me apart from that. I think what triggered the biggest change on him was getting more power and a higher position in the GD community, and also meeting Juniper. He would tell me constantly he wanted to visit her, plan surprise meetups with his parents, but without her consent, and spent 90% of his time with her, both in VC and chat. I don't know much about this though, I'm just saying what I know about this. I had a feeling that he was obsessed, and some people around him had the exact same feeling. I stopped caring about this long ago. I just hope she's okay.
So for context, Juniper is another YouTuber that Advy met and began doing collabs with. And if the girl making these accusations telling the truth about this stuff, then yeah, he sounds abusive, and if he was having sex with you without your consent, obviously that's, prison, right to jail right away.
Right to jail, right away.
And she also said that this kind of abuse went on for more than 2 years, which is insane. As to why it was deleted, I have no idea. There was another thread by a different user on Twitter going under the alias Luna TTV. She had Discord messages where he kept calling her a bitch and calling her cute, and it just comes off as pretty unhinged. And one of the screenshots is really damning because Luna TTV at the time, she had just turned 17 after getting these messages. And I should point out at this time, this dude was approaching 23 years old. And when he was talking to the 14-year-old, he was actually 23, which makes it even worse. Now, from what I've heard, I'm no lawyer and I'm not going to go digging into Spanish law too much. The age of consent in Spain is 16, so I'm not sure what can be legally done with the Luna TTV thing. I don't know about that. But with the 14-year-old, she was underage, even by Spain's laws. The law might be able to do something. I don't really know how Spain handles that kind of stuff. Advy made an apology on Twitter that stated the following.
I appreciate this thread a lot, and this is a huge mistake I made. This is not an okay thing to do, and way less if they are minors. I deeply apologize for all those who were affected by my behavior. I'm going to learn a lot from this. Thank you. If anyone has been disturbed by my comments or whatever, Please let me know as soon as possible so I can talk with them personally.
Yeah, this apology, if we can even call it that, did not go over well with anyone, to say the least. Someone named Woolsey responded with this:
"You fucked someone while they were crying and this is all you have to say."
As you can tell by the screenshot, the quote tweet, the original tweet, was removed, probably because of the backlash. He then posted on his community tab where he denied it and said that he's never had any relationship with a minor, even though if we go back to the original tweet, he said that this is not an okay thing to do and way less if they are minors, which seems like he is acknowledging that he was flirting with minors to some degree. But someone translated his apology into English. I'll post the original Spanish one on the other side of the screen, just in case there's any inaccuracies about this translation that might change the context or something.
"After all that has been made public about me, I want to clarify a few points. First of all, I want to emphasize first that at no time have I had sexual relations with minors. I have only had a single partner, who was of legal age since we left, and it was from May 2018 to October 2020. On the other hand, to say that at no time have I mistreated or abused anyone, and in any of the cases, I will take action regarding this. Finally, I feel deeply hurt by everything, and it is true that I have flirted with some people. I condemn this behavior that I have had, and it will not happen again. However, I need to rethink about everything, and therefore, I have decided that I'm going to spend some time networking in general until I feel better. Take care of yourselves, Lewis."
Notice he didn't clarify who he flirted with. Like, this is so general, it could apply to any situation. He posted this on the same day these threads went up too. He did post a response video in Spanish about this, and from what I've heard, he tried to frame this stuff as slander and public stoning, even though they had some evidence, so I'm not sure if that would count. He then vanished for a grand total of 4 whole days, then went back to uploading like nothing had ever happened. When these allegations went public, there was a giant hashtag called #advyout, and the resulting commotion got him banned from many communities over this. But sadly, YouTube didn't do anything, and I don't think law enforcement got involved at any point. I still see some people using the advyout tag, and I saw some people saying that perhaps the allegations would have gotten more attention if the document had been made in Spanish instead of English, since most of his audience is Spanish. I don't know if there's any truth to that, though. But his channel is still going strong. He still gets a lot of views, and from what I've seen, he still has a healthy like to dislike ratio, so it's like everyone forgot about this, which is unfortunate. But let's wrap this up. There is one other thing that people have been accusing him of, and I was debating whether or not to even include it, because compared to everything else, it is hilariously insignificant. I've seen some people alleging that he's also been cheating at Geometry Dash, like he's been using bots and stuff. And like I said, compared to the other things that he's been accused of, these seem minor, pun not intended. As far as why these allegations didn't really amount to much, I think it's because more victims didn't come forward, so there really wasn't a lot of traction or momentum after a while. It just kind of fizzled out. And a lot of the stuff in the thread, from what I gather, is from anonymous sources, so it's difficult to really prove anything or verify this stuff, especially when we talk about the paste bin. And this is kind of one of those things that's a problem with rape accusations in general, is that, it's a case of he said, she said. As far as I can tell, there wasn't any evidence provided to really corroborate the girl's story. I'm not saying she's lying, by the way, but I'm just saying I can't prove that any of this stuff happened either. So it's kind of like a what do we do here thing. Now, maybe she could have gone to the police. I don't know if there was anything maybe on her phone that could back this up. Maybe she could have had like Discord screenshots of his abusive messages, something she did say that this was in voice chat. But again, that would corroborate some of the stuff, but not the sexual assault stuff. I don't know. The Discord stuff seems legit, so I think I'm comfortable saying that he is at the very least a creep. But as far as legal repercussions, I'm not sure what law enforcement could do here based on what was provided. As far as what will happen to him as time goes on, I don't know, because as far as I know, he hasn't done anything like this again. So I don't know if any new evidence is ever going to come forward or if anyone's ever going to get law enforcement involved. Unfortunately, we just have to wait and see what happens with this. But let me know what you guys think of this video, and if you liked it, please leave a like and comment and consider subscribing. You know, all that stuff makes me a good boy in YouTube's algorithm. And I'll see you later, and I'm going to head out.
You